This bulletin just in. The Federal Aviation Administration reports that a plane carrying 25 persons crashed tonight in southwest Mississippi.
The band was aboard a small twin-engine plane on their way to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, when the plane lost fuel and crashed. 6 people lost their lives. Among them was the heart and soul of the band, Ronnie Van Zant. 20 others on board somehow survived the crash, including guitarist Gary Rossington.
I don't want to raise anything that's nightmarish. It has to be nightmarish for you. But you're in the plane, you know it's going down. Give us a sense of that. I mean, did you spend your time in prayer? Did you spend the time cursing the airplane?
Well, we were playing poker and just having a flight, you know, on a private plane. There's no rules. You don't have to buckle up or sit down the whole time or nothing. Anyway, we were just flying along. But the co-pilot came back and said, "Hey guys, we got trouble. We're gonna make an emergency landing in a field, so get ready. Put your head between your legs and buckle up." So most people did that, you know. Now myself, Ronnie was by me, and Dean, another guy that died during the crash, our road manager, Dean Kirkpatrick. And Alan was across from me, and Cassie and Steve Gaines, they both died. And me and Alan didn't. So we always ask ourselves, why didn't we go and not them? But the sense before it crashed was, you're in so much shock or disbelief, and at the same time, belief, and oh my God, it's true. And you don't have time to think, even if you had 10 minutes. Your mind just goes. And I thought, I just, you know, was waiting and thinking nothing. You know, I didn't know what to think. But it was really scary for a minute. And then all of a sudden it was a real calm, like, well, it's gonna happen. And then it started and we hit the tops of trees. And it was real loud and started soft. It got so loud until it just crashed, you know. And I woke up, it was like a Vietnam experience or something. I wasn't there, but I woke up in a swamp hearing all my brothers crying or screaming, you know, because they were hurt and it was natural or dead. And so I was hurt real bad, and I thought the plane door was on me or some hunk of metal. And I screamed out for somebody to get it off of me. And finally I said, "Dean," our road manager, "get this thing off of me." And well, Dean walked over and threw that piece of metal off of me. But then later in the hospital, a few weeks later, a doctor told me that the way he came in, he couldn't have done that, what happened to him. So it was his spirit. So I believe in that. But there was so much, I could go on for 2 days about.
He was a helper, wasn't he?
It's God. It was God. You see him. And after the crash, I remember laying in the hospital for the first week or so. But the first 3 or 4 days, I say 3 because that's when Jesus, you know, was resurrected after 3 days. But I could see all over their faces and the flowers. People were seeing a lot of flowers. They were all over the room. And when I looked in there, I'd see them. And I believe it was their spirit helped me get through it, but coming to me and being there right with me.
Do you or do you not still have nightmares about it? You have to talk about it. People such as myself are going to ask you about it.
I hate to say this, yeah, a lot. I do. I don't even tell my wife but if I told you every night, I don't think you'd believe me, but every night I have some kind of weird dream about it.
Well, let me ask you this. And you've been so generous with your time and with yourself, and I appreciate it. But, you know, the history, I don't know of another band that has this kind of history. You know, the band was very successful. The band then comes back in many ways as strong as ever was, with the brother taking over the lead singing role. How did you make that happen?
You know, Dan, for me, honestly, I had quit the music business and I went driving truck. So I'm driving my truck, but I still love to write songs. I was doing some demo tapes and this gentleman named Joe Boylan. who I'd met in Nashville, says, hey, I know Ahmet Ertegun. He's chairman of Atlantic Records. He signed Led Zeppelin and Ray Charles. And
everybody.
And I think he'll like your stuff. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, so I sent him a cassette. And honestly, on Friday night, I get a call from this gentleman saying that Ahmet wants to come in and talk to me. Sign me to Atlantic Records. I said, oh, okay. Yeah, been in the music business. I didn't quit this nonsense. And I couldn't believe it was going to happen. So anyway, on Monday, Ahmet Ertegun flies in, signs me to Atlantic Records. On the following Friday, Gary called me and said, hey, we want to go out and do a tribute tour and respect the name of Lynyrd Skynyrd. I said, my God, I was driving a truck in 1 week. I mean, I got a record deal and I got Gary calling me. So I walked into a room and here are the surviving members. If my brother would have lived, Lynyrd Skynyrd would have went on. He was that type of man. He said, we're going to dust it off and we're going to carry this thing on. Whenever they asked me to be a part of this, I said, let's go in and try to rehearse. It's been 31 years.